You've mentioned laugh there. You've got the acronym laugh. You might let me below what that's about.
Well, right. Okay. So, in this course on adding humor to your presentation, I believe in the power of the acronyms. I really think they are powerful. In fact, I've actually created an acronym for the word acronym, which stands for all content, remember, or names you mentioned, okay, or numbers you mentioned. But if you want people to remember things, as a professional speaker, I feel you've got to give them some things to hang on to. And jumping around the place for a second, my most popular keynote is titled The Gift of Gab, which is GAB. And GAB is an acronym for goals, attitude, and behavior. Goals, attitude, behavior. So if I was to say to an event planner, I speak about attitude and I speak about behavior and I speak about goals, he's not going to remember that. But if I say I speak about the gift of gab, which is goals, attitude, behavior, they have a reasonable chance of remembering that. Now, so let's go to this LA acronym. The basic idea here behind this is, I actually preface this, Roy, by saying, I'll ask you a question, okay? If I say something that I think is, I'm looking for a 5-letter word, okay? I say this to the audience, I'm looking for a 5-letter word. If I say something that I think is funny, what do I expect you to do? Laugh, okay? All right. I sometimes respond that, who said grow, which is a 5-letter word as well, okay? GROAN. But laugh is the acronym that I want to take you through. And this basically, it summarizes what we've been speaking about. The first element of the laugh acronym, and I do this in my program on adding humor to your presentation, and whether you're in sales or marketing, business presentations, or going for that interview, you can use some of these. First element of the LAUGH acronym is listen. Well, what did he say? He said, listen, all right? And basically, this goes back to what I was speaking about earlier. If you said something funny that made people laugh yesterday, listen to it. What was it? Write it down. If you see something funny or heard something funny that made you laugh yesterday, listen to it, write it down, and record it, okay? So the second element then of the LAUGH acronym after listen is anecdote. And I'll take A and U together. Anecdote and U is for uncomfortable. And some of the funniest, when you're down at the pub or you're at a Starbucks or at having just an informal conversation, some of the funniest reactions you will get are from you telling a story. People laugh more at anecdotes than they do at jokes. All right, the joke is designed to make you fun and make you laugh. But in general, though, over the course of a few days or weeks, you don't necessarily hear that many jokes, but you do have a smile on your face quite regularly. And a lot of the time it's generated by someone telling you a quick little anecdote or a story. And the funniest anecdotes are often the ones where something went slightly wrong. So, for instance, that in the story with my darling granddaughter Maggie, slightly wrong instance there, we're able to create some kind of humor about it. I have a video online, a few videos online about a situation where I had a little chat or discussion with one of Illinois' finest speed cops, okay, or cop car. And I've created a really humorous story there about choosing my attitude. What do I want my attitude to be? At the time when I was stopped by the cop or when I saw the mobile discotheque lights behind me initially, I didn't, as I say, I tell people I came over 1-4 like a ward. But Roy, as a good Cork man, you will know the word was oops, OOPS, which stands for oh, please stop. Honestly, okay? Oops is a very powerful word for your audience, all right? So I tell that story, but so the anecdotes, something humorous that happened. Often the best anecdotes are the ones where something was uncomfortable at the time, but when you're now talking to your friends or your colleagues at the pub or at the Starbucks or the water cooler, you're laughing at it because something went wrong, but it wasn't life-threatening. So listen, anecdote, uncomfortable. And here's the thing, the reason why I was able to develop that mobile discotheque story with the cop car pulling me, etc., going through a red light, is because I came home, told my wife something about it. And what actually happened was, what made it funny initially was, the reaction I got was, it happened on the 16th of March, okay, one day before St. Patrick's Day. So the cop comes up and he says to me, he's going to cite me for going through the red light, and that he was, I did another little incident, but he gave me a break on that one. But I said, how much is this going to cost me? And he said, $75, sir. And I said, $75? Have you any idea how many pints of Guinness I can get tomorrow for $75? Genuinely, that's what I said to him. He cracked up. And I mean, with a good conversation, but it went back to, I asked myself, what do I want my attitude to be at the start of the incident, okay? That's the basic moral of the story. I come home and I tell my wife, and she says, you didn't say that to him. And I said, I did. She was breaking her sides laughing at it. And I realized, hey, listen, this is a good story. So then I was able to kind of embellish it a little bit, etc. On my website, Irishman Speaks, or on the YouTube channel, if you just look for mobile discotheque or when things go wrong on my Irishman Speaks YouTube channel, you'll see that story. But it's a great story, though, about choosing your attitude. And a powerful message, you can't choose your attitude, but use humor to do it. So we'd listen. I listened to my wife's reaction when I told the uncomfortable anecdote about the cop story. G is for Google. And I tell people, Roy, that they should Google on the Bing for humor, okay? Now you Google on the AI or whatever you want to phrase it, okay? Goofball way of phrasing it. But if you're looking for if you're doing a business presentation on leadership, for instance, like that, and you want to bring a little bit of humor into it, why not Google something about humorous quotes about leadership, or humorous, let's say you're a financial analyst, you want to make fun of lawyers, okay? So humorous quotes about lawyers, or funny little anecdote about lawyers, etc. You can drop it into your presentation. You're not really plagiarizing anything there, and use that. So we're going to listen, anecdote, uncomfortable, part of the anecdote, Google on the Bing, as I say, and H is for, goes back to comment you made earlier about audience reaction. It's from, H is for he to ho, ho, ho. Basically, the idea there is that once you get into the habit of spotting humor, so let's say in your next podcast, you say something that gets a smile from your co-host or from the guest. Just take note of it and say, all right, is there something, some way that I could change that phrasing a little bit so that I go from a he reaction to a ho, ho, ho. And that's the way a lot of the comics develop their material. They'll go doing open mic nights, etc. And they'll see what kind of reaction we get. And they'll say, all right, that's pretty good. Can I just change one more or do something slightly differently? And it'll make a difference to the audience reaction. So laugh, listen, anecdote, uncomfortable, Google, he, so ho, ho, ho. So if you want to add humor to your presentation, this is the way I do it, my people.